Happy Monday, everyone, and thank you for joining me today for the first process video for the April for the Love of Homemade Kits. And today I started out making a mixed media background that I ended up scrapping. It was looking more like an Easter egg hunt than it was a soft background. So that may show up later. So what I ended up deciding to do was take this ledger paper, and I'm going to go ahead and scrapbook these three pictures of my dad and my sister and I. It's at our campground that we camped at, and it was a Father's Day back in 2015. So the first thing I did was I found a paper that I liked, and I used that to mat like a larger square. So I did that with that blue paper, and I cut it down. I want to say it was like 10.5 inches wide, and I'm not sure how tall. And so you can still see the grid paper in the background, but it gives it a nice base for the pictures to sit on top of. And I'm using one of the styles that I do a lot, which is to have two vertical pictures and one horizontal. I have so many pictures, and I really do try to scrapbook multiple photos on a layout just because I, I will do a single photo layout occasionally, but I'm the one that wants to get them in the book. And so the more pictures I can get on the layout with still making it look nice, the better, because then they're in the book and not in a box. And so I do like being able to use multiple photos from an event. So here is the three photos that we ended up taking of us. And I think this, like I said, this layout is a really nice design. So what I did was I had taken those doilies off camera. I had taken that sheet that I had shown in my kit, and I had gone ahead and fussy cut all of them out so that I just have them ready to go whenever I want. And so I decided I'm going to have one up at the in each of the corners. Now, I'm one that likes to stick my photos in my paper as I go. I don't build the whole layout and then glue it down afterwards. I don't like things shifting around. It drives me crazy. So I take my chances, and I also don't want to overthink. So I will go ahead and glue things as I go. So now I had that blue paper that I cut into the larger square using the grid paper as kind of my background. And now what I did was I took a strip of that floral paper to run down the side. And you can see there's that little chunk of blue ink on there. And I was able to cut it so that the picture will cover that up. When I was trying to do that mixed media, I ended up getting some watercolor on that paper. I was kind of mad, but as you can see with the layout, you have no idea that that blue watercolor ink is underneath. So I'm going ahead and I'm gluing down each of these doilies, and I do apologize. I do pull the layout down towards the end so you can see the whole layout. I keep messing up on where the layout needs to be when I'm actually creating. So I do apologize that it's cutting off the top of that layout. So the next thing I do is I take some of this washi tape. I'm trying to make a conscious effort of using it on as many layouts as I can. I have a huge stash of washi, and I don't want it to where all of it gets ruined and can't be used by sticking to itself. So I'm making an effort to try and get more of it on layouts, and that way I avoid having it get thrown away. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out these October afternoon labels and sentiments, and I'm picking a couple of them out. They're not going to stay in the places. I'm just kind of picking out what I think will go, and some of them will stay, some of them will go. So the yellow one you see at the top will actually move down to the bottom, and it says right here, right now, there's nowhere I'd rather be. And the next I'm doing is going through this Amy Tan sticker sheet. And again, nothing had been used out of here, so I'm really trying to get into these sticker books and try and use up some of these stickers. So there was the one that said, it was a banner on a label that said celebrating, and I really liked it, but it had kind of that purpley blue, which wasn't in the colors that I had, but it's in our clothing. So I went ahead and I grabbed that celebrating label, and then I made sure to find a couple more things with that blue color to pull it through and make it look like it belonged. So I grabbed the star that's in the upper right left hand corner. In the upper right hand corner, I grabbed, it looks like a paint swatch that says family, and then there's the hummingbird, and all of them have that blue in it, which then pulls that purpley blue from the bottom into each of the three clusters. Now I went into the 6x6 paper pad, which was the inspiration for my whole kit, and in there was these little cut aparts. So I did find a couple things that reminded me of a father and Father's Day. The one is the glasses. It says, "Here's looking at you." And then there's down below, it says, "Hey there, Mr. Handsome," with the tie. Actually, I haven't put it on yet, but it will move down to the bottom. Now, I did show you there was this little V gap between the doily and the glasses that I didn't like, so I grabbed a tag out of my stash and put that in between, and it kind of bridged the gap. And then I stuck that blue star in there to help carry that through, and now you don't see that like gap that was in there that I didn't like before. See, here I'm sticking down the celebrate tag, and I'm going to in a moment take the yellow tag that says right here, right now, there's no place I'd rather be. That's going to leave another little gap on the right hand side of that, and that's where I'm going to take the other half of that tag and fit that in along with that "Hey there, Mr. Handsome" tie, and then that closes that gap as well. And see, here's where I take it and I put it down below. And now you don't see that little space, that trap space. And then the last thing of these cut aparts is there's that striped one that says, "It's a good day to have a good laugh." And anytime I'm with my family, we're always laughing, so it was appropriate. Now I'm taking these typewriter alphas and I'm just spelling out the word dad. And so my title is going to end up being Celebrating Dad. And it doesn't have to be anything tricky. It says what it is. It was our day to celebrate Dad. And now I'm just going through the rest of my embellishments. And I'm going to go through these thicker enamel words and shapes. And I forget which, I think they're Maggie Holmes. But I grabbed this one that's pink framed. It says, "I love you." And again, because it's my dad and we love him. And then I have this one that's kind of a blue teal, and that says "Happy Moments." And then I do grab a couple stars and put one in each cluster. They're white with black border. And that's it that I'm going to use from that paper pad. Now I'm going through this Vicki Boutin, this Vicki Boutin sticker book and looking for anything that I can tuck in. And I do end up finding some hearts and some clear word stickers. So for the clear word stickers in the upper right hand cluster, I'm going to put "Together is Better" and "Grateful." In the upper left hand corner, it's going to say "Beautiful You." And in the bottom left hand corner, it's going to say "Celebrate Right Now" and "Love It." And then the last thing I'll do is go through this book. I do find a sticker that I will put in the bottom left that will say "Life is Good," and it kind of brings more of that deep blue in, and it's going to bring these pink hearts in. And I'm just finishing up with those words. And here's where I'm looking for a little bit more to scatter around. And that's where I find the hearts and choose to go with the pink. Now the last thing that I'm going to do for this layout is I am going to sprinkle it with some Heidi Shine, and it is in the just a pink, and I will put that in all the three sections, and that will be it for my layout. I will do some journaling off camera. So I want to thank you for joining me again today, and I can't wait for you to come back next Monday for the next process video. In the description box below will be the link to the recipe if you want to play along. And instead of doing a playlist for everybody, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties with that. We've gone ahead and put the links for everyone who is participating this month. The links to their channel are down below, so please go and check out their videos and see what they're doing with this recipe this month. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. Here is a few close-ups. And later today, I will be trying to get up a video for the 6x6 on the 6th. So please take a look for that tonight. Take it easy. Bye-bye.